Ryan Taggart here, Principles of Bass Fishing. So, I just want to give you a little bit of a review on, just a quick review on my lithium battery setup. So I had traditional, I've had gel batteries, I've had AGM batteries, and I've had wet cell batteries. In this boat, I've used traditional wet cells for about the first few months I had it, and then just recently I transitioned to lithium. So understand I have a 24 volt Ultrex up front here, and then I have all of my electronics, obviously, and my power poles, everything running to my starting battery in the back. And I just, after a tournament with the wet cell batteries, I'd pull in my trolling motor, those batteries would be somewhere, with the gel, somewhere around, after a 8-hour tournament, they'd be around 70–75%. That was using them. And obviously, if I wasn't on them as much, then you get a little closer to 80% there. But with the wet cells, who knew? You felt like you were losing power throughout the day, and using power poles, having your electronics linked up, hydrowave, those things aren't big draws, but when they're linked up, it makes a difference. And not being able to do what you want to do or what you need to do on the water is a problem. And so for me, it was an investment, but talk to Dean Yoder from MillerTech. He's awesome, they're awesome, great company. And we really sat down, tried to weigh out, what size batteries do I want, which batteries are going to serve my needs best. And so I actually went with two 100 amp for my trolling motor batteries. They're 12 volt, two 100 amp batteries there. And then for my starting battery, again, I went with a 100 amp 12 volt. And then I bought the lithium 4-bank charger. So I only have 3 batteries back there, so I just taped off one of the chargers. Make sure those ends, if you do that, make sure those ends, the positive negative end of the one that's not connected, never touch. So wrap them in tape, wrap them in something, make sure that they never touch, because that could be a problem. So, so I installed the batteries about 3 weeks ago. As soon as I got them installed, they were running at like 95, 90%. So went ahead, getting ready to go out the next day. So I went ahead and charged them. One of the batteries wouldn't charge. And so right away, I'm looking through things, I'm not the most mechanically inclined individual. And so I called Dean, Dean's like, hey, check that inline fuse. So I checked the inline fuse, and for whatever reason, it wasn't right. So they give you spare fuses, but you can always buy them at an auto store or whatever. But Dean actually came over to my house that night and dropped off a fuse, watched me put it in, and just to make sure that that was not the problem and there wasn't a bad battery there. And when you look at like companies, especially for things like fishing, like if something goes out when you're a tournament angler, you want it fixed now, like yesterday. And so customer service for me is the most important thing when I'm purchasing a product. Products are typically, going to be relevant in quality across the board for the most part. But that customer service piece is huge. And really it's a difference maker. And so, I've read reviews, I've talked to anglers, and you look at, some of the guys that are doing this to make a living, Fletcher Shryock, Jacob Wheeler, those guys have MillerTech batteries in, and so that the quality is second to none. And so when we look at it, the customer service part, it's a 5-year guaranteed, no questions asked, 100% replacement guarantee. Like, it doesn't matter what happens to it. Within that warranty time, you get, no questions asked, you get another battery. And so, and aside from that, Dean, you call him, you email him, he gets back to you like that. And so, for me, it was a no-brainer. So, I'm going to show you a picture of my setup, but I want you to know that I have fished up to 10 hours at one time on 15, 20 mile an hour wind gust days. I mean, it was like yesterday, it was windy. And I've had my trolling motor in spot lock, I mean, a huge part of those days because it's, you know, it's early spring here. So fish might be sitting off points or deeper water. And I mean, I haven't had a battery drop below 86% yet. And literally, I've been running everything to make sure that everything works before I get into my tournaments. So, in 10 hours, hammering on the trolling motor, all my electronics running at the same time. Like I'm not even, my back units, I'm not even putting them on standby when I'm up fishing. Because I want to see what these batteries can do. 10 hours on the water. And I mean, they haven't read below 88 or 86%. Like, it's crazy. So when you look at that, hands down, no question, MillerTech is the way to go. So thanks for tuning in, you guys. I appreciate my sponsors, Dave Schlabaugh Financial Services, you know, Direct Action Company, and MillerTech Lithium Batteries. Thank you. Thanks for tuning in. Comment, like, subscribe. I'll talk to you guys later.